So as you see, I have already started to pull the crank bolt out. So that means we're gonna start to tear down on this thing. So I've been watching a little bit of Sloppy Mechanics on YouTube, and he did that 8s for 8s build with the 4.8 liter. And I'm thinking about doing something like that too. Just our budget build. This is a 5.3, obviously, not a 4.8, but still, same setup. He did it with a turbo. I was gonna go spray. We're gonna start tearing this down. And just like that, it's off. We used the GM and Chrysler, obviously, harmonic balancer puller, and it came out pretty good. Didn't hurt anything on the crank or anything. That's always a good thing. It's sitting over there on the ground now with a bunch of other LS parts and a little 4.6. So I'm gonna start taking out the water pump. I do have an issue with this water pump. I guess it got stuck or locked up or something. I have another one in the back on the, on one of my shelves, so maybe I'll do that, but obviously this is going to stay no matter what. But I'm gonna get right back to the time lapse, and you guys will see this whole thing tear down. If you take apart an engine, go buy some little Ziploc bags, label them, Sharpie marker. That way you know where everything the fuck is. I don't know how many times I've taken shit apart and never found all the fucking bolts and had to go and find my own motherfucking bolts. And it pissed me off. Hundreds of times I've done it. I've taken apart plenty of cars where you look for the bolt and you can't find it. But if you do this, you ain't got no problem. And I haven't really had any issues since. So I'm gonna time lapse you guys for the rest of the motor. So I got the one head off, and this is on the inside of this motor. So we're gonna clean all that out, obviously make it all pretty. Slap it all back together. All the parts are coming apart now. Heads aren't too bad. I haven't looked under them, but see if I can get a spot to grab them. Not too bad. Definitely won't look like that when we put it back together, but there's all this crud in there. It's nasty. Alright guys, so I'm back, and this is after I cleaned up one side. The lifter is still in there. But this is the one side. I did get some parts cleaner down the side of my block, so I'm gonna have to pick up some paint, fix all that back up. But that's fine. That's simple shit. Valley cover got the same treatment. Got a little bit of paint. Parts cleaner in the center. Took some of the paint off, so we'll fix that too. That's fine too. I will be able to go back and paint all this up real nice too. I'm gonna start working on this side. I'm taking the head off. I do have all my bolts in their bags. There's some push rods. I haven't labeled it yet. I have all my bolts in their bags. Making sure I'm ready to put her back together. I got all my shit. But from the last clip and this clip, you can tell. Damn, I came back. See the cam down in there? And a Sharpie. That's not good. Lift the trays too. But yeah, I'll start tearing this side down. other side. Yeah, this thing is rusty on the inside compared to all the videos I try to make this thing pretty. But now we're gonna make it pretty and go fast. Too bad. This in here is nasty. It's been some time and I didn't notice that the camera was not time-lapsing the other side. So, sorry for that. But it's all cleaned up now. Spins nice and smooth. There's no crap coming up from the cylinder walls or anything anymore. Same for both sides. I'm gonna work on getting out the lifters tomorrow. I pulled the lifter trays on this side and the lifters are kind of being a bitch, so I'll get them out tomorrow. Same with this side, nice and smooth. No crap in the cylinders. Now, a lot of you might have seen me use my friend over here to go into the cylinder walls, but that was only just a scuff just right here where it had some buildup and all that crap was built up there. Because I don't have, you know, a dingleberry hone. So that's what I did, and it's nice. It's smooth on all of these. It's really smooth. It might not look the smoothest, it might not look the best. I can do a dingleberry hone and it'll clean all this up. But for the most part, it's all there. I'll clean up the valley a little bit. It's pretty clean, actually. Little things, you know, fell down in there from cleaning it all up. I did chip off some paint pretty much everywhere. So I mean, definitely over there I picked up some. But we are gonna get a different oil paint, so I really don't care for the oil paint. The only reason I painted this thing when we first got it was because I was so disgusted on how I first got it, and I didn't want it sitting in, you know, the room just looking like a piece of shit at last, cruddy up and nasty. So I had to clean it and I painted it. I got plenty of paint left over, so we're going to obviously touch up the paint. So right now, I'm just fixing up all the shit that got fucked up on the teardown when I sprayed parts cleaner everywhere. Obviously, I'll just clean the oil paint up because we're going to use that one now. I'm going to pull the timing cover off and remove the cam and get that all out of there. Obviously, I still have to pull the lifters and stuff, do the trays on this side, but it's the simple shit now. But if you look at my last clip, this motor was filthy. Now, it cleaned up very nice. Like very, very nice. I was surprised at how clean it came out and how much shit was actually inside it that we didn't know about. So now that we got it all teared down, I'm gonna start putting it back together a little cleaner, I guess. I got all the parts there. I got all my parts in the back room like I showed you. I do have this truck intake manifold and throttle body and everything, which I was gonna use that for my turbo setup, but I'm now backing out of it because it's just, for a budget setup, if you want to just get it going, you can get it going on spray and run, you know, 150 shot, 200 shot, and be happy with it. I don't know how far you want to go with the 200 with the stock ring gap. I'd probably just keep it around the 150 shot, 175 shot, and be happy with a nice little street car setup, which wouldn't be too bad with the cam and everything. And we are going to do, obviously, the carb kit, which I was deciding between the Victor Jr. and a Super Victor, which is only about a $200 difference. But that's the whole setup with the MSD wiring and everything. So it's pretty simple. And we're going to run either a 750, an 850, or a 950 carb. Now, if we run a 950, we'll just jet it down. So, you know, I could still, when I want to drive it on the street, it won't be so shit. So I might just slap a 750 or just go in the middle and slap an 850 on there and just drop down jetting and have a nice little street rod. And then whenever I go to, you know, hit it with spray and stuff, we jet it back up and get it ready for straight. But that's where we're at right now. I'm going to start getting this thing all cleaned up. And you guys will see when I come back, I have the timing color all prettied up. This is all fucked up with paint. As you can see, I got the timing cover here swinging around. It's all cleaned up. Scraped a lot of the crap out from the inside. Not too bad. Got all the lifters out. They were a pain in the ass. Time for the cam shop. And got everything repainted up real nice too. Everything's in the box, all labeled, ready to go. Let's pull the cam out. lot of you might have watched me do that, you know, that way. There's oil still in there. I didn't feel like, you know, dropping the whole pan and making a mess, so I did it that way. Just, you know, drop the pan down enough to get the pickup tube out the way. I got the bolt with my fingers. I mean, I used a little wrench. I was gonna use a magnet, stick it in there, you know, make sure I grabbed it. Or, I mean, even if it went to the back of the pan, I would just drain it. Or basically, if that happened, then I was gonna drop the pan and then get oil every fucking where. But in this case, I didn't have to. I did it that way. So now we can get to the can. That's it for today. It's all done until we get the parts. Gotta clean a bunch of bolts and just wait on parts.